And warm welcome to our show, Efauji Talks, an IESECCI initiative which promises to get brilliant stories and inspiring speakers on board each episode. I am Shavinder, the bandhead of this show, and we are currently showcasing the spirit of womanhood of our Choose to Challenge series. And please welcome Dr. Sulata Ajit for today's show as a guest speaker. And she is the founder director of Special Education, Sankalp, the Learning Center and Special Needs School in Chennai. Hello, good evening once again, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Shavinder. Hi.
Great. So, before we start the discussion, let me acquaint our viewers to our guest today. Dr. Sulata Ajit is a special educator with more than 30 years of experience in catering to the needs of children with autism spectrum disorder and intellect disability. Her expertise lies in the education of children with autism and in providing vocational support for young adults with special needs. She is also passionate about including children with special needs into the mainstream school. She recently completed her doctoral research in inclusive education for children with autism from University of Northampton, UK. Several of her articles have been related to her research have been published in national and international journals. She has been instrumental in providing her knowledge and experience in designing state-of-art school children with special needs in Chennai. That's wonderful. While I speak about your profile, you are doing a commendable job, Dr. Sulata, and this is a very noble cause. I am from the education stream as well, and the new NEP speaks a lot about inclusive education. And I'm glad that the emphasis is laid now that the children should be taken into the mainstream school. So, without wasting any further time, let's start our conversation. My first and obvious question is tell us about your journey and your experience in the field of education with children with special needs, and of course, thereafter, your organization also.
Yeah. So, the story goes back to, say, 1986 when I was doing my graduation, my BA in psychology. It was in Mumbai. And while undergoing the course, in the college, there was a school for special needs. And psychology being my subject, I used to go there and volunteer. And that is how the journey actually started. I kind of enjoyed working with the little kids there, and there were kids in all age groups, and I would volunteer. And then slowly I started asking the teachers, how do I get into this field? If I have to teach these children, how do I go about? And that's the journey. It started from there. So soon after my graduation, I enrolled for my B.Ed in special education from SNDT University in Juhu, Mumbai. So after completing that, I worked in a school for children with special needs. It was a multiple disability school. Way back then, autism was totally unknown, though now I realize there were children with autism. And soon after that, I was there worked for a couple of years, 4 years. We moved to Chennai. It was totally new for me. Though I am a South Indian, but I was born and brought up in Mumbai. So I was totally clueless on Chennai and how, things would take me forward in my career. Luckily, I enrolled for a program in learning disability from a center in Chennai. And that took me to another pathway altogether, because learning disability was totally new for me, because I knew what learning disability was, but how to teach them, the remedial program, all that was totally new. So after that, that's where I worked for 4 years, and I made good contacts with 2 of my other colleagues. And we thought of starting a school because they also wanted to. We said, let's pull in together and start. And our husbands also supported us, and they became the trustees of the school. So three of us together, we started Sankalp in 1999. And then it is history. We never knew it was a very humble beginning with just 5 children. And now we have close to 200 children. We cater to almost 200 children in both streams. We have 2 centers, one for the School for Learning Disability, which has 100 children, and the other school for children with autism. So autism was a very, very new, kind of a new disability in way back in 99. So being a special educator, I was interested and I had learned about learning disability. Now I was curious to know about autism. So I ventured into workshops and teacher training, looking out for training programs, and so enrolled into a couple of programs, and that's when I slowly enrolled into my MA program in Masters in Special Education. And so we started taking in children with autism. And slowly the center started to grow, and we were one center, we had to make it 2 centers. So we, very because these children, the children with learning disability couldn't be mingled. I mean, they couldn't mingle with children with autism because their problems are different, their attention span is different, everything was very different. So we had to have 2 centers. So that's how we started. And now recently, after 20 years, my institute is 20-year-old, we just opened our own center because we were working out of leased properties and leased premises. So from one building to another, it was a very, very tough journey because we couldn't sustain in one place because the landlords would throw us out. So we thought we needed to have a place of our own. We had to move little away from the city. And we started this, we acquired a property, 1.35 acres of property, and we have built a state-of-art institute for children with autism and intellectual disabilities and learning disabilities. So that is where we stand right now.
That's so, your journey is absolutely commendable. I mean, anybody for that matter would think, why should we not start with a normal school? So this is such a noble cause because, see, when you think of investing into school, anybody for that matter would think, but you and your friends took this initiative of start. I'm sure many lives you have touched, in army, I belong to the army fraternity. In all cantonments, we have Asha schools, which is, I'm sure you must be aware of those schools also. They are, but that's a governmental obligatory, of course, that's a initiation by our organization, but anybody on a standalone doing this, it's absolutely commendable. Dr. Sulata, I'm sure. And the kind of contentment that you get, it's evident, I'm sure, the way you spoke about your journey. So my next question is, what's your view on the parental supports towards education of the children with, autism? Generally, it happens they either disown them or they neglect or whatever. So can we consider inclusive education for children with autism, for that matter?
Yes. So, see, when we talk to parents, the first thing I tell anybody, or even I, the mantra I follow is, first we have to listen to the parent because they are very, very vulnerable, very, very emotional people who have just heard the news that their child is having some problem. So they don't know whether it is a disease, what is it now. Of course, awareness is much, much better, but way back in 99 and for a couple of years, 2000, at least till 2005, it was not a very, very known topic, or nobody knew about autism. Now there's a lot of awareness, but even then it is a hard-hitting reality for parents. So first they go through shock, then they go through acceptance. It takes a while for them to accept, And at that time, so we have to, when we talk about parental acceptance, we have to see where the parent stands, in what emotional, uh, what is his emotional state. So, we have to be very, very careful of the parent's emotional state, his family, his or her family background. Are they supportive? Are their in-laws, parents? Because it's a team effort. It's not one person or the parent both put together. So they come out of various stages of acceptance, and when once they accept and they realize, and then it is the what do we do. So so that is the stage where they are, where their child is 5 years to say 10 years, and then they explore all sorts of whether be it medication or be it doctors, be it interrelated medicines, they, you name it, they try everything, and now
Absolutely.
Google is the answer to everything. So they go through a lot of journey, and so we need to understand those things. We need to be very, very sensitive to a parent's needs or parents' family before we directly advise them or give them the knowledge about autism, or because it's a complicated disorder. It's not a disorder as easy as say cerebral palsy, where your motor dysfunction. It's very evident. It's very visible. This is kind of a hidden disability. So the child looks very normal, looks very pretty and very handsome, but inside, what goes on inside is very, very tricky, and you need to understand the problem. So parents, when we talk to parents, first is understanding their emotional level. If they are kind of if they are kind of realized and they have done their homework, then we can directly go on to giving them tips and giving them, slowly taking them along with us. And when the teacher teaches, the parent also accompanies, sees what is happening, and the parent becomes a facilitator, slowly but steadily. We need that. Every parent cannot, and because again family circumstances don't make them like that, because they are needed as a daughter-in-law, as a wife, as a, how the mother plays so many different roles. So it becomes very difficult for the mother. You have to be very, very lucky if your husband is also supportive, if the father is also supportive. Generally it is always the mother, but we have had wonderful fathers as well. So it goes through a journey, and then it comes to when they are 18, or when they are, then again, what do we do next with our child who's a young adult now, who is 18? And after that, what do we do next with, what happens when we are no more, if the parent is no more? So they go through a lot of phases in
Right.
life. Yeah. So every step we have to see, where is the problem? Where is the support needed by special educators, or we as counselors, or we as the so-called know everything about autism. It's not true. We don't know. Every single
Right.
child with autism is different. So
Different,
if
yes.
you know one, you don't know the others. It's a
Because every
parental
individual is unique, definitely.
exactly. So parental acceptance comes. So we have to leave it to the parent. We just support them, assist them, and we are there for them. That is the assurance we give them, that we are there for you. You can bank on us. You can, communicate with us. We as teachers, as the principal or director or whatever we are there for you. So that is a very, very assuring aspect as for parents, I feel.
Great, great. So obviously, because this episode is definitely very important for the viewers or for the parents, for that matter, who are suffering from this kind of mental anxiety. I'm sure they're going to get a lot of help from listening to you. So my next question is, what are the options of vocational support and employment opportunities for people with autism? Because now, if they are empowered, so what is that they get? What is the scope for them?
Yeah, so we very recently, I would say 4 to 5 years back, because we grew up with our children. Our school is 20 years. Our children are also now in that stage. So we have literally grown the school, the institute has grown up with them. So when our youngest child came in, and he is now 18 or 20, So again, the parent asked us, what do we do with now he has gained all the educational support and the activities of daily living, what we call, and the life skill support. All this you have given. Now, what do we do with the child? So we started this Center for Vocational Services, and we provide in vocational services also. There is something which we need to be aware of. Again, it is the child, the young adult, who's very important. So we have to see where the young adult stands. Is he independent? Because that's the main skill which is needed for young adults 18, even before that. So the main training which we need to give is on independent skills, whether it is right from their household chores to their grooming to their even traveling, because there are opportunities. I have experienced many times that there are corporate groups who give them employment, but unfortunately the child is not able to travel far because he's not learned the traveling skills or the independent skills of traveling. Of course, sometimes a child may not be able to travel because of his behavioral problems, but many times they are able to. It's just cutting the umbilical cord from the mother and from the teacher. And from the
Absolutely.
teacher, because the teachers also become, it's as if they own the child, I
Right.
mean, they also, to separate a teacher from the child, also it's like actually like from a mother and child. So we need to give them those skills of independency. So there are opportunities, there are plenty of opportunities for people with autism. Corporate groups are opening out for open employment. But otherwise, if the child or young adult cannot get into open employment, there are other supportive employments. And in our institute, I can speak for for Sankalp, we have set up various skill training programs. We have a full-fledged bakery unit supported by
Okay.
professional bakers. We have a masala making unit, which is again supported by full-fledged professionals. We have a weaving, tailoring, embroidery, we have gardening, we have data entry, leafware making, paper products, envelopes, bags, paper making machines. We have a whole range of activities. So we select these, we expose children or these young adults into various groups, and we see where the child
While fixing.
fits in. Yeah, where the child fits in and where his or her interest is. So we need to
Absolutely.
explore those things. So this is supported employment. So there are opportunities for supported employment as well, where we need to slowly send a job coach, or to take them out, because when we send them for open employment, they need that little support. So we call people job coaches, or they need to be supported to be independent also. So there are plenty of opportunities. It's only the parent has to explore and find out the interest of the child. So that is the other mantra which we give the parent. Look out for interests in your child. Look out for the positives rather than the negatives, because from the
Negative.
positive we can bring out, we can we can overcome the negatives. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so that is what we follow. And in vocational or in these skill training programs, it always is combined with able-bodied people, because you need that able-bodied support as well. So
Absolutely.
what we have now, since we have moved to a little semi-rural area, we are trying to employ the people in the community. So we are building up kind of a community program as well. So the economically weaker section, because it's kind of a village. So we employ the economically weaker section people from there. So it's a combination of, so it's inclusion. It's, if you call that, it is inclusion of the community and for the benefit of people with special needs.
So, Dr. Sulata, I must say, not only that you are, providing children with skills, you're also empowering people around your local community. That's absolutely wonderful. I'm almost come toward the end of the show. One more question that I want to ask you. Your experience in providing the knowledge in designing the school for children with autism, and your intellectual disability that other children has got, So I need to know more on that.
Yeah, so this once we got this place, it was there was a school building already. It was an orphanage, and we had to look out for the correct architect, and we had a very good friend who supported us. So he gave us a lot of insight into how we could develop a school or design a school, because those skills we don't have. We could only give the knowledge or the on what is autism and what are the safety aspects and what are the aspects which he has to look into, the color schemes, the lighting, the children with autism need little preparedness. So those are the things which they require. So those are he did an entire research on understanding first on how to build the school. And my teachers and myself, it's not only me, I always encourage my teachers, my whole team worked on how we dreamt or dream of a school for people with special needs. So we had every aspect of the classroom, how we need to make it a structured room. We looked into various pictures and articles and everything from outside, from India, from outside, from the Western world. How we can design, what is the infrastructure required, what are the seating, what are the furnitures, what are the sensory requirements which we need to be aware of. So we went into the entire journey of reading and finding out and then sharing it with the architect. So the end result is
Fabulous.
it's so very satisfying, I would say, because I think mine and my teachers and my team, the trustees, all of us, I feel we have kind of achieved what we dreamt of. And it's come a little hard way, because it's 20 years, and it's not easy to build a school of this magnitude. So it's been a long journey, but it's very satisfying. Yes.
Absolutely, because it takes a lot to make something to that level. And I'm sure the satisfaction level is different when you've achieved that. So, quickly, one last question. Two things that you would like to tell the parents who's got an autistic child or a special child.
Yeah, like I told earlier, I know it is difficult, but it is not impossible. The parents have to have a lot of willpower. Of course, the family definitely plays a role. And I would always tell a parent, please look out for what the child is interested in. What are his strengths? Because it's like, we have to give them that support. So the support is only through his strength, because if it's a blind child, we can give him braille. If it's a child affected with physical challenges, we can give him crutches, we can give him wheelchair, we can give him so many other assistive devices. But for a child with autism, it's very tricky. It's very difficult. So we need to understand the child's strengths. What are his strengths? The child will not display it immediately. It comes with a lot of observation. So we need to observe your child, keep looking at your child, taking notes and keeping records of what the child is interested in, because only through his strengths we can overcome his weakness. So that is the only way possible for people with autism. They are wonderful people. They are wonderful children if we understand them. So it is and understand they are. It's very easy to spot their weakness, but very difficult to understand their strength. So I would say look out for the strength.
Thank you
That's
so much, Dr. Sulata. It's a
my
complete,
pleasure.
you've given us an insight about how to, treat these children and what can be done if somebody is looking into, working for them. So for all the special educators, I would like to say it takes someone special to teach someone special, And hats off and kudos to all of you, your team, and all the very best to your future endeavors. and all the very best, and a lot of love to children at Sankalp. And we at Efauji Talks really, feel proud that we are able to host somebody who's doing such a noble work for the nation. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
If you wish to share more inspiring stories, please contact me at shavi@efaujitalks.com. I thank all our viewers to please like, share, and comment on today's episode because it is absolutely beautifully explained by Dr. Sulata today. And do not forget to put your reviews and comment section. For more interesting stories, please stay tuned. Till then, Jai Hind.
Fauji Talks is brought to you by IESECCI, Indian Ex-Defence Service Employees Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Thanks to its vast veteran network and global and pan-India associates, IESECCI can carry out various commerce facilitations and CSR projects across India and the world. Some of IESECCI's core capability areas are Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India, any ex-serviceman welfare or job program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan related projects, telemedicine and healthcare training and job scheme, Save Water scheme, defence industry SME, MSME cluster and hub development, maritime training and inland water training with job facilitation, Canada study, job and permanent residency opportunity, e-commerce, Andaman and Nicobar commerce opportunities. IESECCI's global reach includes countries like Indonesia, Slovakia, Canada, Nepal, Singapore, Rwanda, USA, UK. Above all, it is IESECCI's effort to create a veterans brand made by the veterans, for the veterans and made up of the veterans. Every Indian's support is invaluable in this journey. IESECCI is a registered society for ex-servicemen's welfare and envisions that every veteran should be a part of India's economic growth story. It is the aim of IESECCI to create an enabling commerce platform that will empower and synergize the veterans' talent pool. This is possible only with the support of entrepreneurs, businesses and consultants from civil society. All proceeds, if any, are utilized for the welfare of ex-servicemen and for public charity.